Hi friends, in this video we see analog and digital communication questions asked in all the previous year TRB exam questions. So I have taken a communication system question from both the ECE and EEE department. I got 83 questions. So all these questions if you see, it will give some idea about that. And what I concluded here is minimum 15 to 20 questions they are asking in each exam. So this subject is very important. Let us start. The first question is the maximum information of a source with alphabet size 3. So in order to solve this problem, we must know for alphabet size of n, the maximum information is 2n. Here they have given alphabet size is 3, so the maximum information is 2 power 3, that is equal to 8. So option C is a correct answer. Next question. What is the thing is the bandwidth required for a frequency modulated signal. So bandwidth they ask, it is a frequency modulated signal FM in which modulating frequency is 2 kilohertz. FM is modulating frequency 2 kilohertz and the maximum frequency deviation del F is 12 kilohertz. What they ask is bandwidth. So we know FM and del F. So if you know both, bandwidth as per Carson's rule is 2 into del F plus FM. So that is equal to 2 into 2 plus 12, that is 28 kilohertz, right? So the answer must be 28 kilohertz. There is no 28, so put 24, right? Okay. Next question, the quantization noise of a PCM system with step size del V is direct question. If you know step size, the quantization noise is del V squared by 12. It's a direct question, so you must remember this formula, del V squared by 12. They may ask problem from this by using this formula, right? Okay, so don't forget this equation. Next, a TDM has 20 signal channels, so it has 20 channels. And each channel is sampled at 8,000 samples per second. So sampling rate is 8,000 samples per second. The time interval over which all the channels are sampled once. So samples per second means 8,000 samples per second they have taken. So what is time? Sampling time 1 by 8,000. 1 by 8,000 is 125 microsecond. This is for one channel. They ask for 20 channel. So therefore for 20 channel, for one channel 125 microsecond, 20 into 125, 2500 microsecond. So this is the correct answer. This is wrong answer, right? 125 microsecond is for only one channel. Okay. The next question is Wiener-Khinchin theorem relationship. We must know, whenever we know Wiener-Khinchin theorem, we must know that Wiener-Khinchin theorem is a one which relates autocorrelation and power spectral density. So what it says is the Fourier transform of autocorrelation RxXx will give power spectral density SSD. So the theorem is option A. It's a direct question. Sx of f is equal to, it's a Fourier transform minus infinity plus infinity Rxx of tau. We know cos 2 pi f tau t tau. So autocorrelation is converted into power spectral density, right? So that is very important, right? You may say that surely it will not be signed because it is a odd function. Odd function minus infinity plus infinity is 0, and we won't get two times of this one will not come. So this is the correct answer. Even though if you don't know the answer, you can reject all the three and you can come to that. This is not possible, this is not possible. Either these two may be possible, but this is not possible. There must be some frequency. So 2 pi f you can put. So anyway, you must know the relationship. Directly you can write it. And the next question is the total power of a power in AM wave to the unmodulated carrier. So they ask the ratio between total power divided by unmodulated carrier PC. We know in AM the relationship is PT is equal to PC 1 plus MA squared by 2 transmitted power. What they ask is PT by PC, that is equal to 1 plus MA squared by 2. So option B is a correct answer. Next. Okay. What is the next question? This is the carrier frequency of the frequency modulated wave represented. So what is the wave they have given? FM wave. FM wave is given by 10 sine 8 into 10 power 6t plus 6 sine 3 into 10 power 4t. This is what they have given. What they ask is carrier frequency FC. So this FM equation they are given, compare with the general FM equation, that is A cos omega ct plus m of t, sorry, kf, kf integral minus infinity to the m of t dt. So compare equation 1 and 2, this indicates omega c, both are is equal, omega c is equal to 8 power 6. Omega is equal to 2 pi f, so fc is equal to 8 into 10 power 6. That 2 pi bring this side, so everything is divided by 2 pi, so no need to simplify. So 8 into 10 power 6, 2 pi. Option A is the correct answer. Next question, the entropy of the source is, it's a direct question, h of x is entropy, that is equal to minus px log of px summation. So option A is the correct answer, direct question. The self-information of a message with probability P. So we know the problem, the equation for self-information is minus log of 1 by P. Here what is the probability they are given? P only. So the same P you can get. So log of 1 by P, that is equal to minus log P. So option B is a correct answer. Next one, the matched filter with rectangular pulse as the input should have. See, whenever you have a rectangular pulse as input to the matched filter, it will give sinc sin cx by x, direct question. Okay. The channel capacity of a continuous channel is, they ask Shannon's channel capacity theorem. So C is equal to B log of 1 plus SNR. This relates C, channel capacity and SNR. So C is equal to B log of 1 plus SNR is the correct answer. This equation is known as Shannon's channel capacity theorem. Next question, the bandwidth of a narrowband FM. The narrowband FM is equal to, more or less equal to, what you call AM. So what is the bandwidth of AM? Approximately 2 FM. So the answer is 2 FM. The number of quantization level of a 4-bit PCM. For n-bit PCM, quantization level is 2 power n. For 4-bit PCM, quantization level is 2 power n is 16. Next, the digital modulation scheme with the two carriers AC cos omega CT minus AC cos omega CT. You see, both are 180-degree phase shifter. So phase is changing, so it is a PSK only. It is not QPSK because we don't have 4. Q means quadrature 4. We have two carriers, so it is BPSK, binary. So it is PSK, right? For ASK, we have 1 is represented by A cos omega CT, 0 is represented by 0. FSK, we have two signals, A cos omega C1T, A cos omega C2T. PSK, we know, phase is changed. So AC cos omega CT plus AC cos omega CT, 180. Cos omega T CT plus pi is minus AC cos omega CT. The next question, the optimum threshold setting setting of coherent ASK receivers. These are all direct questions. So optimum threshold setting of coherent ASK receiver is A squared by 4 into TB. Bit error rate of non-coherent ASK receiver is e power 1 by 2 e power minus A squared by 8n. This is also direct question. So you see coherent ASK, non-coherent ASK. What are the questions they are asking? Threshold value and bit error probability. Bit error probability of all the digital modulation we must know. Next question, the binary bit error probability of AC coherent PSK. For that, the answer is Q of root 2e by n naught PSK. Fine. Okay. Next. Next question is, if RB is the bit rate, what is the bandwidth required by non-coherent FSK? For bit rate of RB, the bandwidth required is direct question. It must be greater than 2 RB for non-coherent FSK. If the message signal is S of t, what is the impulse response of a matched filter? It is matched filter. We know that for matched filter, impulse response h of t is equal to S into t minus t. Matched filter is S is input signal is time reversal and shifted. So first it should be reversed and shifted. So you check whether what is the input signal here? Here input signal is S of t. Where it is reversed, only minus t is reversed here. Here it is not reversed. So it is not answer. Minus input signal must be time reversed. S of t is input means it must be S of minus t and t shifted. Where is there any minus t? No. Here also plus t, it is not answer. Here also plus t, it is not answer. Here minus t, that is shifted by m unit. So k into k, that's amplitude. Just you can add k into s, t minus t, t is the correct answer. Next, if rho is the SNR of a matched filter, then probability error is error function root rho by 2. That is a direct question. Fine. Okay. Next question is, the number of bits in a GSM slot is 156.25 megabits per second. This is a very, very important question. Next question, the power requirement of coherent FSK system compared to PSK. Always the power requirement of FSK is greater than PSK. It is greater than. So these two won't be an answer. And it must be greater than by 2.2 dB. So this is also not answer. Right? FSK requires more power. So from this we can conclude that, you see how many questions they have asked. They have asked 22 questions in TRB 2007 from analog and digital communication subject. Right? So you must understand this concept. Then 2012 question, in DPCM the input to the quantizer is, see DPCM in communication engineering we always use scalar quantizer only. In DPCM you are using a non-uniform scalar quantization. So option B is the correct answer. Next, in delta modulation the quantizer is 1-bit quantizer. Why? We know in delta modulation we are doing like this. What is the thing? We compare, let us assume this is the present sample, this is the previous sample. We compare both present, previous. If present is greater than previous, we put 1. If present is less than previous, we put 0. So each sample is represented by only 1 bit. So it is a 1-bit quantizer. Next question, the bit error rate of a digital communication system is 34 Mbps. So FB is bit error rate is 34 Mbps. The modulation is QPSK. So modulation is QPSK. What is the baud rate? Right. So we know baud rate is bit error rate by n. FB by n. General formula. N is a number of bit used to represent a symbol. Right. N is a number of bit used to represent symbol. In QPSK we have 4 symbols, so each symbol is represented by 2 bits. Clear or not? So what is the bit error? Bit rate? Bit rate is 34. Each symbol is represented by 2 bits. So what is the baud rate? 17 Mbps. Right? Suppose if they ask QPSK means what was the bit error rate? It is 34. Sorry, 8 PSK. 8 PSK means 8 symbols. So each symbol is represented by 3 bits. So it is 34 by 3. Right? That is the simple answer. Next question. The channel capacity under the Gaussian environment for a discrete memory channel with bandwidth is 4 MB. SNR is 31. What is the channel capacity? We know channel capacity theorem is B log of 1 plus SNR. Already they asked me this question. B is bandwidth 4 megabits per second. Log of it is base 2, right? Base 2 1 plus 31. So log of 32, 4 into log of 32 divided by 2. That 4 into log 2 power 5, 2. So 5 I take outside, 2, 20, log 2 is 1, so 20 Mbps. So the bandwidth is, channel capacity of the channel is 20 Mbps. Next, which of the following requires a synchronous signal? It is single channel PPM. This is a very important point and question, so please remember this. Okay, modulation used in GSM is GMSK, direct question, Gaussian minimum shift key. Right? Okay. Next question is, which technique is used for allocating capacity on a satellite channel using fixed assignment FDM? So it is nothing but FDMA, frequency division multiple access, direct question. Next question is, FM channel signal is being broadcast at 88 to 108 megahertz. Carrier swing is 125 kilohertz. Right, so what is carrier swing? If there is a message frequency, from this your FM signal can go up to this value, and this is like a tolerance, it is del f. So this is what, from the message frequency, how much distance your FM signal can swing, that is called frequency swing. So this is 125 kilohertz. So this implies, you see this length is del f, this length is del f, 2 del f is 125 kilohertz. So 2 del f is nothing but frequency swing, you must know. This implies del f is equal to 62.25, right? So this is 62.125, right? 125 means 62.5 kilohertz. So this is what is del f, frequency deviation. This is what happening in the real, so actual frequency deviation. What they ask is modulation index of the signal. Modulation index beta for FM is del f actual divided by del f maximum. Del f actual is what we found, that is 62.5. Del f maximum is 75 kilohertz always, the standard value, right? So 62.5 divided by 75 is 83%. So the answer is option B. Right? Okay. Next one is threshold effect. Threshold effect in demodulator is, threshold effect is available only in FM. There is one more effect in FM, that is called capture effect. So this you must remember. What is threshold effect is the rapid fall of output SNR when input SNR falls behind some threshold value. Right? When SNR input falls below some threshold value, how your SNR output falls, that is defined by threshold effect of the FM demodulator. Right? So option B is the correct answer. Next question, in DSP-SC system with 100% modulation, what is the power swing? It is not swing, it is power saving. Right? They are asking about power savings. Our power saving means how much power it is saved compared to AM. That is the question. So what we have to do is, we know the power transmitted by DSP is MA squared PC by 2. Here modulation index is 100% modulation, that is MA is equal to 1. 100% means 100 by 100, that is equal to 1. Right? 100% modulation means the modulation index is 1. So MA is 1, so it is PC by 2. Similarly, power transmitted by AM is given by PT is equal to PC. That's what we know, 1 plus MA squared by 2. MA is 1, again 100% modulation. 1 plus half is 1.5, that is 3 by 2 PC. So I want power saving by what do you call DSP-SC. So first I see power transmitted by DSP compared to power transmitted by AM given by PC by 2 divided by 3 by 2 PC. So power transmitted is Power transmitted, PC cancel. Power transmitted by DSP compared to cancel. Power transmitted by DSP compared to AM is 1 by 3 PAM. Right? PDSP is equal to PAM. This is what power transmitted. How much saved? Power saved by is 1 minus 1 by 3. That is PM minus 1 by 3 PM. Right? So it is 2 by 3 PM. That is equal. 2 by 3 is 66%. Right? So this power transmitter. So if this much is power transmitter, how much is saved compared to PAM? 1 minus 1 by 3 is saved. That is 2 by 3. 66%. Fine. Okay. The next question is the generation of a modulated signal varactor diode can be used only in FM generation of that is the correct answer. If modulation index of AM wave is changed from 0 to 1, the transmitted power. So it's talking about AM wave and the transmitted power. So the transmitted power of AM wave is 1 plus MA squared by 2 into PC. So when MA changed from 0 to 1, when MA is equal to 0, what is PT? PC only. MA 0 means PC. MA is equal to 1 means PT is equal to 1 plus 1 by 2, 1.5. 1.5 PC. When MA is 0, it is PC. MA is 1.5 PC. How much it has changed? 0.5, that is 50%. So improvement by 50%. 0.5 is nothing but 50%, right? Okay. Next, the envelope detector is, we know envelope detector is AM detector, which is a non-synchronous detector. Option B is a correct answer. What is quadrature multiplexing? Quadrature multiplexing means same frequency is used for two different signals. So option D is the correct answer. Next, the function of an AM limiter, amplitude limiter in FM receiver is amplitude limiter limits any change in the amplitude of the FM signal, because we know in FM amplitude is constant. We don't do anything. FM we don't change amplitude. Whatever be the amplitude, that must be kept. Only frequency is changed with respect to carrier, right? So amplitude of the signal should not be changed. That must be avoided. Eliminate any change in the amplitude of the receiver in FM signal. Next one, the function of an amplitude limiter. Oh, same question, sorry. Next, for a given data rate, the bandwidth required for M-ary transmission is smaller than that of binary transmission by, you see how the bandwidth required for M-ary transmission is smaller than binary transmission by log 2m, right? Why M-ary requires less bandwidth? Because more symbols are packed in more bits are packed in single symbol. Because in QPSK we know each symbol is represented by 2 bit, whereas in PSK each symbol is represented by 1 bit. So it requires less bandwidth to transmit the signal. So log 2 base m, that much bandwidth requirement is less. So it's a direct question. I just explained the concepts. Next, if a carrier modulated by a bitstream had one of the 4 phases, so we have 4 different phases. 4 phase means quadrature, so it is phase is changing QPSK. Whereas in BPSK, what are the phases? 0 and 180 degree, binary, 2 phases. Okay. The increase in SNR for a PCM by an extra bit is given by 6 dB, because SNR of PCM is 1.7 plus 6n. When n is increased from one value to next value, how much it is changing? 6 dB. Why? When n is equal to 1, it is 6. When n is equal to 2, it is 12. So 1.7 is constant, just leave it. So when n is 1, it is 6. N is 2, it is 12. So plus 6 changed. So 6 dB will change when you increase the bit. Next, in a PCM, each quantitation level is encoded into 8-bit. What is the SNR? Just now only we know SNR ratio of PCM is given by 1.7 plus 6n. N is the number of bits encoded. So 1.7 plus 6 into 8, 48 plus 1.7, 49.7. Sometimes they may ignore. So what is the answer? 48. So it is 48 dB. And the next question is, if the transmitter bandwidth in FM is doubled, what is SNR? The transmission bandwidth of FM is related to SNR is given by SNR FM is approximately equal to 3 into BT divided by 2W whole squared CNR. CNR is carrier to noise ratio, BT is the transmitter bandwidth, BT square. So if BT is doubled, SNR will be 2 squared 4. So it is improved by 4-fold. So option A is the correct answer. Next question. In the phase shift SSB method, to get upper sideband, what is the thing? It's a direct question. We have to make 2 LSBs 180 degree out of phase, right? So SSB generation we should have studied. So it is 2 LSB. So here you see 23 to 44. In TRB 12 also they asked 22 questions. Right? Very, very important thing to be noted. Next, TRB 2016. What is the thing? Double spotting in super heterodyne receiver is caused by. Double spotting is a phenomena which we feel in amplitude modulation. What is the meaning of double spotting? When we tune AM radio, what will happen is the station appears at 2 spots of dial. 2 spots of dial. So that is what called double spotting. It is due to the poor front end rejection, right? So we know we should, in the early days we used to tune the radio dial, no, right, for a particular station. If the station appears in 2 different spots, then that is called double spotting. What is transponder? We know transponder is comparing transmitter and receiver in a satellite. So option C is the correct answer. Next question, expensive tracking equipment is not required for geosynchronous orbit. Why? Because there the satellite is synchronous with Earth in geosynchronous orbit. That's why it is called geosynchronous. So it is at the distance of 36,000 kilometers from the Earth, and since it is tracking, it is following the path of following the speed of the Earth. So it requires less amount to track the geosynchronous satellite orbit. Next question is, in binary PCM, SNR ratio to be held at 40 dB. What is the number of required level? We know SNR is equal to 1.7 plus 6n. SNR should be maintained for PCM. SNR to be maintained at 40. 1.7 plus 6n, this means 6n should be equal to 40 minus 1.7, 38.3. So this implies n is equal to 38.3 by 6, right? It must be 36, 23.3 something, right? So n is approximately equal to 6.3. N is 6.3 means we should take a number of quantization, number of level should be integer. N is equal to 6.3 means we must go to higher level only. We should not go to lower level, right? Higher level means we can represent up to 6.3. Lower level means we cannot represent. So the answer is 7. You go to immediate next integer. The distortion due to aperture effect is corrected by. So first we must know what is aperture effect. Aperture effect occurs in flat subsampling, right? It occurs in flat top sampling. What is aperture effect? That is the first thing we must know. The flat top sampling signal will be like this, right? Right. The spectrum of the flat top sampling is like this. F, it is x of f. Right here you see f. When f increases, what is the thing is the amplitude of the spectrum is decreasing. When f is increasing, you see amplitude is maximum, minimum, minimum. So amplitude decrease. Right? So amplitude decrease and distorted. is very, very important, right? So in flat sampling, when the frequency increases, amplitude is decreased and distorted. What is the reason? It is due to the effect, because high frequency component gets higher attenuation. High frequency compo gets high attenuation. What do you mean by attenuation? Reduction in amplitude, right? So high frequency component will undergo more attenuation. This effect is known as what you call aperture effect. So high frequency component get more attenuation means what we have to do? We have to remove the high frequency component. Which device is used to remove the high frequency component? Low pass filter, right? Suppose if they give equalizer and low pass filter, that is a combo. Equalizer and low pass filter is mainly used, but here they give both, so preference should be given to low pass filter because high frequency component undergoes more attenuation. I want to avoid that. Okay, so suppose if they give combination of equalizer plus low pass filter, use them. That is the thing we use. Next, disadvantage of PCM is it's well known direct question, high bandwidth. So PCM has high bandwidth, that is the main disadvantage. Next question is a broadcast what do you call a broadcast radio FM radio transmitter radiates 5 kilowatts when modulation percentage or modulation index, everything is MA only. 80% that is equal to 0.8, right? Transmitted power 5 kilowatts. What is the thing they ask? Carrier power, PC. Which modulation? AM modulation. So in AM modulation we know PT is equal to PC 1 plus MA squared by 2. PT 5 into 10 power 3 kilowatts. PC I have to find 1 plus MA is 0.8 squared by 2. If you simplify, what you get is 3.8 kilowatts. So the answer is PC is equal to 3.8 kilowatts. Option B is a correct answer. Next question. A signal contains components at 400 Hz and 2400 Hz. The signal modulates a carrier at 100 MHz. So signal component is FS1 is 400 Hz, right? FS2 signal component FS2 is 2400 Hz. What is the message carrier frequency? Carrier frequency is 100 MHz, right? However, after demodulation, only 400 Hz is obtained. So 2400 is missed. So after demodulated, 400 Hz is obtained, 2400 is missed. Bandwidth is 15 kilohertz. What is the reason for missing of this high frequency component? Why this 2400 is missed? That is the question. Right. So what is the answer they have given? They told some two modulation, AM or FM, and some reason. Let us see. First we have to check whether what type of modulation. Suppose we know modulation of FM is bandwidth of FM is 2 FM, right? Sorry, bandwidth of AM is 2 FM. So if the signal is having 400 Hz, what is the bandwidth? 800 Hz. If signal is having a frequency of 2400 component, what is the bandwidth? 4800 Hz. But what is the bandwidth they have given for channel? 15 kilohertz. For maximum bandwidth requirement of 4800 Hz, no organization will allot 15 kilohertz. It is 4.8 kilohertz. They may allot 5 kilohertz or 6 kilohertz. They won't allot 15 kilohertz because bandwidth is a scarce resource. So surely it should not be a bandwidth for AM. So it must be a bandwidth for FM because we know FM bandwidth is more. So the frequency is, so modulation is FM. So what are the things we can neglect? Modulation is AM, here also modulation. These two are not the reason. Next we have to see, they are given two reasons for not receiving high frequency component. One reason is bandwidth is insufficient. Second reason is pre-emphasis is not used. We know in FM we always use pre-emphasis. Why? Why we are using pre-emphasis? Pre-emphasis is nothing but amplifying the high frequency component to avoid the interference of noise. to avoid interference from noise, boosting the high frequency component. Right? So what is the meaning? If the high frequency component is not received, means that component is affected by noise. Why? Because then we must not have used a pre-emphasis. That's why we are not able to receive high frequency region. So option C is the correct answer. Bandwidth is insufficient. We don't have any reason to prove that bandwidth is insufficient because there is no del F FM and all. So this may not be the reason. If we don't know, we don't use pre-emphasis, surely we will miss high frequency component. Next one, in AM modulation, the transmitted power is P. Total power transmitted is PT is equal to P. What is the carrier power? They ask PC. In AM, we know PT is equal to PC into 1 plus MA squared by 2. What is MA? 100%. 100% modulation means MA is 100 by 100, so 1. So what they ask is PC. So PC into 1 plus 1 by 2, 3 by 2 PC. What is the carrier power? So I have to find carrier power. PT is equal to P. P is equal to 3 by 2 PC. This implies PC is equal to 2 by 3 P. So option A is the correct answer. Next question, an antenna having a noise temperature of 30 Kelvin. Right, noise temperature T is 30 Kelvin. First we write what are the data given. T is 30 Kelvin. It is connected to an amplifier having a gain of 100 dB. Gain of 100 dB. Equivalent noise bandwidth of 1.5 MHz. Bandwidth is 1.5 MHz. What is the equivalent noise temperature of the amplifier? The equivalent noise equivalent temperature TE is equal to 270 Kelvin. What is the available output power, noise power? We know available output noise power is PMO, that is given by GKB T plus TE. Okay. Sorry. T plus TE, GKB. Okay, it's not C. It is GKB T plus TE. Right? So everything should be in number. It is gain in dB that I convert into number. G in number is given by what do you call 10 log G by 10. This is 100 dB. So 10 log, here I want 100 means it should be what do you call, I should get 10. So it must be log 10 power 10. Right? So log 10 power 10, it should be there in 10. So G 100 dB means 10 power 10. Fine. Otherwise, you take anti-log and you will find the answer. Right. So G is 10 power 10. So we got everything. K is a Boltzmann constant. Let me write G is 10 power 10. K is Boltzmann constant, that is given by 1.38 into 10 power minus 23. B is 1.5 megahertz, so 10 power 6. T is 30 plus 270. Everything should be in Kelvin. If you simplify, what you get is 62.1 microwatts PNO. So the answer is what you call 62.1 B. Option B is the correct answer. Next we see TRB 2016 question. Here you see the quantizing error of PCM system can be made less significant for a V signal by companding. What is companding? It is a combination of compression plus expansion. Expanding, right? That's what we know companding. So companding is mainly used to reduce quantizing error. Next, in the AM transmitter, if the unmodulated carrier current is IC, what is the modulated current? Direct question, right? IT is equal to IC root of 1 plus MA squared by 2. It's a direct question. Okay. Next question is in a super heterodyne receiver having an RF amplifier, the loaded Q of the antenna coupling circuit is 100. So Q is 100. If the intermediate frequency, IF is intermediate frequency is called 55 kilohertz. What is the image frequency F? IM at 25 megahertz. So the received frequency is FRF is 25 megahertz. Right? So we know the relationship in super return receiver is F image is equal to FRF plus 2FIF. FRF is 25 megahertz. FIF 2 into this is FIF 2 into 455 kilohertz. 2 into 455 is 910. This is mega, this is kilo. 910 kilo is nothing but 0.9 mega. 2 FIF is 910 kilohertz, that is equal to 0.91 megahertz. Right, so F image is given by 25 mega plus 0.91 mega is 25.91 megahertz. So the option A is the correct one. Don't mind about Q and all, this is extra factor. Next, okay, the noise equivalent bandwidth of a low pass, the noise equivalent bandwidth of a low pass filter with the transfer function h of f given by direct question. Bandwidth is equal to integral 0 to infinity h of f squared divided by h squared 0. Option A is the correct answer. H squared 0. Please remember h of f squared divided by h squared 0. Right. One more super heterodyne receiver question. In a super heterodyne receiver, image input intermediate frequency is again 455 kilohertz. Even though they don't give, you have to use 455 kilohertz. Tuned to 1200 kilohertz. That is the received signal. RF signal received is 2200 kilohertz. What is the image frequency? Just now only I told F image is equal to FIF plus 2F. FRF plus 2FIF. FRF is 1200. 2 into 455 is 910. So 2110 kilohertz. So option B is the correct answer. This question they are asking regularly. So remember this relation. They may give anything and ask other thing. Next question is a source produces 26 symbols with equal probability. What is the average information produced by the source? Right? So what is the average information? In order to produce 26 symbols, I need, if I have 26 means if I have 4 information, it will produce 16. 5 means, and it's 2 power n, right? 2 power 4, 16. 5 means 2 power 5, 32. Right? So 6 means 2 power 6, 64. Right? So less than 4, surely it will not produce 26. Less than 4 means 3 means it will go up to 8. For 4 only it will produce 16 symbols. So this is wrong answer. 6 bits, it is producing 64. No need. So this is also not required. 26 lies between where 16 and 32 or 16 and 64. So here I should have number of average information should be between 4 and 6 bits per symbol. 8 is too big, so no need. Right? So option D is a correct answer. Right? So n symbol, right? N bits means 2 power n information, right? Symbol. So that's what average information produced. So bit symbols. Okay, next question. Pre-emphasis, just now only I told pre-emphasis is amplification of high frequency component of the modulating signal. I told you no problem. So option is a direct question. Similarly, you understand de-emphasis is nothing but reduction in amplitude of the boosting. This boosting, you can say it is boosting of high frequency component. De-emphasis is de-boosting of high frequency component in the receiver side. So pre-emphasis occurs in the transmitter side, de-emphasis occurs in the receiver side. Next question, this is a wonderful question. The entropy of a message generating sources generating from message, sorry, the entropy of a message source generating from messages with the probability. What are the probability? The source generates P1 is equal to 0.5, that I write as 1 by 2. P2 is equal to 0.25, I write as 1 by 4. P3 is 1 by 8. 1 by 8 is 0.125. P4 is 1 by 8. Again 0.12. Why I write like this instead of this one, I will tell you. What is the question they ask? Entropy. Entropy is given by Hx is equal to minus Px. Just now in the first 2007 exam, they asked entropy formula. X is equal to Pa log of P. Otherwise, P minus P log of P. Otherwise, we can write P log of 1 by P plus P log of 1 by P summation Pi I goes to 1 to n. Here we have 4 probability. So summation I goes to 1 to 4. Pi log 1 by Pi. So first one is I is equal to 1. P1 log 1 by P1. P1 is 1 by 2 log of 1 by 1 by 2. Then P2 1 by 4 log of 1 by 1 by 4. Similarly, P3 and P4 are 8, so I write as 2 times. 2 times log of 1 by 1 by 8. Everywhere base 2. Please don't forget. So that is 1 by 2. This is log 2 base 2. 1 by 4 log 4 base 2. 2 into log 2 8. So okay, 1 by 2 log 2 is 1. 1 by 4 it is 2 squared, so 2 into log 2 to 1 it is 2 by 3, so 2 into 3 plus 1, right? So that's what we will get. Okay, here sorry, here P is 1 by 8. I forgot that P is 1 by 8. 2 into P into log 1 by P. So 2 into 1 by 8. 2 into 1 by 8 into 3. Right? So half 2 into 1 by 4 is 1. Half plus of 1. This is 1 by 4. 3 by 4. 1 plus 3 by 4 is 1.75. So the answer is 1.75. Right? 1.75 bits per message. That is the simple question. Right? Okay. Oh, sorry. Where is that? Next question is the autocorrelation function of a random process y of t is equal to x of t cos 2 pi fct, where x of t is a stationary process and theta is a random variable uniformly distributed over the interval 0 to pi is given by. It's a direct question. You must remember this formula. Autocorrelation output autocorrelation given by ry tau is equal to rx tau into cos 2 pi fc tau. Direct question. Right? So this you must remember this formula. Ry of tau is equal to, if they give y of t is equal to x of t cos 2 pi fct means ry of tau is equal to rx of tau divided by 2 cos 2 pi fc tau. Next question is a 10 kilowatt carrier is simultaneously modulated. So carrier frequency F is PC power, carrier power is 10 into 10 power 3 watts. Modulated by 2 modulation index. What is that? M1 is 30% means 3 by 10 0.3. Another modulation index M2 is 0.4. What is PT? We know PT is equal to PCAM only, 1 plus MA squared by 2. But here they have given 2 modulation. If they give 2 modulation, total modulation index, 2 modulation index, total modulation index is given by M1 squared plus M2 squared. M1 squared is 0.3, 0.3 squared is 0.9. This is 1.6, 2.5, that is equal to 0.5. Right? So that is 0.5. Now we substitute PT is equal to 10 into 10 power 3, 1 plus 0.5 square divided by 2. That will give 11.25 kilowatt. This is what? Transmitted power. So the answer is option A. And the next question is, in AM system, the total power transmitted is 600 watts. Power of the carrier is 400 watts. What is small less index? That's what we know. PT is equal to PC 1 plus MA squared by 2. I want MA. This implies PT by BCI, right? PT is 600. PC is equal to 400. 1 plus MA squared by 2. Fine. So MA is equal to 600 by 400 is 1.5, right? Minus 1. This one will come this side, right? Into 2. So if you simplify, what you get is 1 only. So MA is equal to 1. Okay, so the answer is option D. Next question. Now, easy problem is over. Let us see the triple E question also, because this may be asked, right? So let us see this. What is the question? The Nyquist sampling rate of the signal G of t is, they have given the signal G of t is equal to 10 cos 50 by t cos squared 150 by t. Right? So this is what they have given. What is the sampling rate? Sampling rate, I want to find Fs. Right? So if I have cos squared and all, we cannot find the sampling rate. It should be in plus form. It should not be in multiplication form, right? The signal should be in additive form. So first I convert that 10 cos 50 by t. Cos squared I can write as 1 plus cos 2 pi. 2 into 150, sorry, this is 50 only. So 50, 2 into 50 by t divided by 2. Pi, I want the signal in additive form, so 10 by 2 will be cancel. Phi, this one, cos A, cos B, cos A. First I multiply this. Pi, cos 50 by t plus cos 50 by t into cos 100 by t. Now I write as phi into cos 50 by t plus, it is in cos A cos B format. Cos A cos B means the right hand side should have been cos A plus B and cos A minus B. So I don't want amplitude and all. I just want to simplify in addition format. So I don't go in depth. What I do is, if cos A cos B means right side, it should be cos A plus B or sin A plus B, anything, minus or plus A minus B. This is one factor, A plus B. This is another factor, A plus B. This is me. But I am bothering about this frequency only, so I don't mind. So directly I add these two. So 150 by t, this is one signal. Another signal, 100 minus 50, 50 by t. This is the only thing. Out of these three, which is having highest frequency, because Nyquist sampling theorem says Fs should be greater than or equal to twice the amount of maximum frequency. So out of this, which is maximum frequency? 150. So omega 2 pi f is equal to 150. F is equal to 75. So 75 is the maximum frequency. So the F is equal to 2 into 75, 150 samples per second. So it is 150 samples per second. Oh, sorry, here they have given 150, right? In the question 150 they have given, so I change it. If I change also, no problem. 2 into 150, 300, right? So 300 cos 50 cos 300, right? Cos 300. Process is same, I just change the number. It is 300. 300 plus 50 is 350. 300 minus 50 is 250. So 350 means 2 pi f is 350. F is equal to 175. So 2 into 175 is 350 samples per second. So the answer is, procedure is same, right? So just I change the number. Okay, answer is 350 samples per second, right? Okay. Next question, two carriers of frequency FC1 is equal to 40 megahertz, and FC2 is 80 megahertz, or frequency modulated by a signal of frequency messages for 4 kilohertz, both the carriers, such that the bandwidth of the signal FM signal in the two cases are same. So bandwidth of signal 1 is equal to bandwidth of signal 2. Right? What is the peak frequency deviation ratio? What is del f1 by del f2? They ask. Right? The peak deviation in the two cases are in the ratio. Fine. Okay. Now what we are going to do? We know bandwidth of the FM is given by 2 into del f plus FM. In both the cases, FM is same. Only frequency deviation is different because FM is 4 kilohertz only they have given. What is the second case? 2 into del f is different, FM is same. So when you simplify, what will happen? 2 del f1 plus 2 FM, 2 del f2 plus 2 FM, cancel, 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 cancel. So del f1 divided by del f2 is equal to 1 is to 1. Right? So the option C is the correct answer. 1 is to 1 ratio. Next question. Medium wave signals may be received at the distance at night because what is the reason? There is ground wave attenuation is sky wave attenuation is less, or sky wave is stronger at night. What is the reason? During the daytime, the sky wave is absorbed by D layer. That is very important, right? But daytime it is absorbed by D layer, but night time D layer disappears. So what happens? The sky wave gets stronger and can be propagated to long distance. So that is the reason. Okay. Sorry for inconvenience. For a transmission of normal speech, the PCM signal needs bandwidth. So the voice, we need bandwidth of the PCM. We know the voice frequency range is 300 to 3.4 kilohertz. 300 Hz to 3.4 kilohertz. But for practical purpose, we take it as 4 kilohertz for calculation. Right? So if it is a message frequency, what is sampling rate? We need 8,000, 2 into FM. So 8,000 samples per second. Whenever we code PCM, we use 8-bit. So we use 8 bits per sample. Bits per sample. What I need is bandwidth. Bandwidth is equal to n into fs. Right? So for PCM, what is n? Number of bits. So n is 8 bits per sample. What is fs? 8,000 samples per second. Sample cancel. So what happens is 64,000, that is 64k bits per second. Bits per second. So 64 kbps or 64 kilohertz. In this way we only remember. So whenever you use sampling frequency, use samples per second as a unit. Don't use hertz. You never understand what is that. Right? Okay. Oh yes. The next question is a comparison of frequency division multiplexing and time division multiplexing shows that. Right? So this is very important. FDM requires low bandwidth, but TDM has greater noise immunity. That is very important. FDM requires lower bandwidth and TDM has greater noise immunity. You must know the comparison. Direct question only. Right? Explanation you can see in any book. And the next question is, a communication channel is disturbed by additive white Gaussian noise as a bandwidth B is equal to 4K. SNR is 15. What is the channel capacity? C. We know as per the Nyquist Shannon's theorem, C is equal to B plus 1 plus SNR B logger. So that we know from the 2007 question itself, B is 4 log of 1 plus 15 base 2, right? So that will give 4 into log 16 base 2, 4 into 2 power 4, 16. So 2 to 1, 4 into 4, 16 kbps. Fine. So the answer is 16 kbps. Okay. The next question, the intermediate frequency of a super heterodyne receiver, FIF, they have given. FIF is 450 kilohertz. Tuned to input is FRF. Input range is 1200. This question they have already asked, it seems, right? What is image frequency? That's why I told you. In EC also they asked, in EEE also they asked, so we must know. F image is equal to FRF plus 2FIF, right? So if you simplify that, 1200, okay, 1200 plus 450 means 900, 2100 kilohertz. So option D is a correct answer. Next question is source coding in a data communication system is done. In order to, we must know we have two types of coding. One is source coding and channel coding. Source coding means removing, why we are doing source coding? Removing redundancy. Channel coding is adding redundancy. Then why should remove, why should add? That is the next one, right? So that is very, very important. Why we are in source coding we are removing redundancy? Why? To utilize the channel effectively. Effective channel utilization. That is the purpose of source coding. Right? Unnecessary data should be removed. Why we are adding then redundancy during channel coding? To avoid error, we know, right? Parity check, we add an extra bit, no? So to avoid error, so source coding, so when you use source coding, redundancy is removed, channel utilization is effective. So enhance the, so redundancy removed means we have less data, so information transmission rate can be improved. So you must know the difference between source coding and the channel coding. Next question. Okay, it is TRD 2013 for EEE exam. A super heterodyne receiver as FIF. You see again they came to that example. FIF frequency, intermediate frequency is 465 kilohertz. It is tuned to a station broadcasting at 500 kilohertz and its oscillator is operating at 965 kilohertz. Right? And what do you call, then 1430 kilohertz frequency would be there. Right? Okay, what is this? Then 1430 kilohertz would be there is a adjacent channel frequency, gyro frequency, maximum usable frequency, or image frequency. We know maximum usable frequency is available in antenna only. It is not there in super heterodyne. Wrong answer. Gyro frequency is not, we are using. Adjacent channel frequency we can use in some other data. What is the only frequency we use in the super heterodyne receiver apart from RF and IF? Image frequency. So the option is B only, right? So that 1430 is image frequency. You see what is image frequency? Image frequency F image is equal to FRF. FRF is nothing but you see tuned to a broadcasting station 500. FIF 2 into FIF. FIS 465. So it will give 1430. 1430 is a image frequency. That's what 1430 kilohertz would be a image frequency. No need to calculate this. Directly you can write because these three are not there in super heterodyne receiver. I just to prove it. Next one, we have to match this. Right? So we know AM is amplitude only vary, carrier is constant. So it is 1. Next, FM. FM is used for mobile communication. 2. Noise in FM Noise in FM is triangular spectrum. Please remember. Noise in AM and FM is rectangular spectrum. So 2, 1, 3, 4. Option D is a correct answer. Right? And next question is, in a modulation, doubling the modulation frequency, modulation index gets halved. What is the modulation system? Right? So what is the modulation system? Bandwidth of modulation index. What is the modulation index of amplitude modulation? MA is equal to VM by VC. It is not at all bothering about modulation frequency and modulation index. Right? So what is the, let us go for another modulation. FM, modulation index of FM is beta is equal to del F by FM. In modulation system, on doubling the modulation frequency is FM. So doubling the modulation frequency to FM, what happens? The modulation index gets off. Yes, if FM del F by FM, if 2 times increase means compared to this, it is reduced by half time. So it must be a FM. Right? Let us assume del F beta is equal to del F by FM is beta. So del F by FM is beta by 2. So original modulation index is halved if you double the frequency. So it should be a FM signal only. Okay. Next question. Increasing the pulse width in the flat tap sampling leads to greater aliasing reproduction. Greater aliasing errors in reproduction. That is a direct question. There is no other option, right? So that is a simple. Next one. What is that? Consider the statements. Let us see. The bandwidth of AM depends on the bandwidth of the modulating signal. Yes, of course, because bandwidth is equal to 2FM. So bandwidth of the AM depends on, it is true only. The bandwidth of AM wave depends on the modulation index. No, why? It is FM modulation index, it doesn't depend. The bandwidth of FM wave for all practical purpose depends on modulation frequency. Yes, bandwidth of FM is 2 into del F plus FM. Correct. The bandwidth of the FM wave for all practical purpose depends on the amplitude of the carrier. Never. So 1 and 3 are correct. Next question. Microwave link repeaters are typically 50 km apart in TV station. What is the reason? Because of the earth curvature. Otherwise, we will lose line of sight communication, right? So that is the reason. Next one, a satellite antenna system, a satellite carrying antenna system. Transmitter, receiver, and power supply is known as, you see, it takes power supply, so it is active satellite. If doesn't take anything, simply transmitter and receiver, it is passive satellite. Okay, next, a PAM signal is detected by integrator. That is a very important question, please remember. Okay, next question is, okay, this is something wrong. Yes, the analog signal they have given. What is the sampling rate they ask? So what is M of t? Okay, M of t is 4 cos 100 pi t plus 8 sin 200 pi t plus cos 300 pi t. What is the sampling rate? Fs. So first I have to find FM. So what is the frequency here? Okay, here frequency is 2 pi FM. So FM1, let me assume this frequency is FM1. So it is 2 into, so it is 50 Hz, right? Because 2 pi ft. So 2 pi is 100 pi, 2 pi f is 100 pi, f is equal to 50. Similarly, here FM2 is 100. Here FM3 is 150. So as per Nyquist theorem, Fs must be greater than 2 pi F maximum. Out of 3, which is maximum? F max only we have to take. Fs maximum is 150. So Fs is 300. That's it. What they give everything in second. So I have to find Nyquist interval. T is equal to 1 by Fs, 1 by 300 second. So option C is the correct answer. And next question is, And the last question is, in PCM system, a 5-bit encoder is used. So n is equal to 5. Fine. Suppose each represents 1 volt. Each level is represented by 1 volt. What is the range of the encoder? Right. So by using 5-bit, what we can do, 0 to 31 we can represent, because by using 5-bit, how many levels we can represent? 2n. By using n-bit, we can represent 2n levels. By using 5-bit, we can represent 2 power n 32. So that means 0, 1 up to 31. Each level is represented by 1 volt. So what is the range of the encoder? Is 0 volt, 1 volt, 2 volt up to 31. So 0 to 31 is a correct answer. So option B is a right answer. Right, that's all about this session. I hope it is useful for you. I took all the questions from the TRB exam from communication system subject. Wish you all the best. If you have any doubt, please ask me in comment section. Thank you.